Courtney, it's great to have you here at Noise11, and you have been around our decks in many times over the decades. In fact, I think the first time, 1998, the Prince of Wales Hotel in Melbourne was your very first gig in Australia. Do you remember that at all?
I'm not sure if I do or not because we've played. I think we played there a few times in the early days. Uh, did we have somebody come on stage and play didgeridoo with us?
That could have been at that gig. Yeah, that was 1998. That was your actual debut show in Australia. So thank you for
Okay.
making Melbourne the very first introduction to the Dandy Warhols in Australia. We're truly honoured, Courtney.
We love Australia, and Melbourne obviously is the rock and roll capital or rock or art in the arts. It's it's uh it's the rock. It's our city
Yeah,
in Melbourne.
well, you said it. You only had two albums at that point, Dandy Rules OK 1995 and the Dandy Warhols Come Down in 1997. So it was I guess, a very simplistic set list to put together at that point in time. Now it gets a bit more complicated as we
God.
reach album number 12.
Well, I hear 11, I hear 12. I don't know how people are coming up with how many albums. I have no idea how many albums we've made. But I did get shown the catalog of published work, which is pretty much every song that we've released, and it was in the 130 to 140 maybe songs, and that is a lot to whittle down to a 75, 90 minute whatever set. So yeah, it's hard.
Do you ever go back to Dandy Rules OK anymore with the set list?
Oh yeah, we played TV theme song. We play Ride. I think we play Ride almost every gig, and TV theme song sometimes. Um, I'm blanking on what else is on there. Uh, but yeah, I mean, we would bust out. Oh, the bass player for Adam and the Ants is also a monster flute player, flautist. So when he's around for years, we've played Lou Weed, and he plays the flute part. So yeah, there's a lot of that. But in general, we really can only take about two songs from each record now, and put them in the set. So you know, we try to be egalitarian about it, and we'll put three from um, like 13 Tales. We'll get three sometimes, and things like that. Come Down is also a heavily played record. Um, Boys Better is almost always our last song, and Be In is almost always our first song.
Mm.
And if Zia is, we're a pretty serious partying band still. So if Zia has been drinking too much and needs to take a pee break in the middle of the set, I'll play Holiday by myself, and the crowd can all sing the chorus with me. And uh, so yeah, we can play a lot of songs off of Come Down and 13 Tales.
Yeah, and I'm amazed to hear there is a P break consideration for this band. That
You don't have a choice. It's a bit of a zoo being the Dandies.
Dandy's Rule OK is actually coming up to a 30th anniversary next year. Is there any
Well,
consideration for celebrating that?
no,
No reissue,
I don't know.
no.
I haven't been part of any discussions. Uh, Maybe that's Pete's wheelhouse is vinyl, and some of the merch
Hmm.
outside of the vinyl.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's not me. I'm global, organize the advertising and the detailing out the tours and how close are we staying to the venues? Can we walk there? If somebody is passed out drunk and we need them on stage, is it close enough to get somebody to go over there, get security at the hotel to let them into the room, make sure they're still breathing, wake their ass up and get them to the gig. These are the things that that's my wheelhouse.
I need you to manage me.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. I need to manage you about like I need a blow to the head. I
uh,
don't need any more adult children.
oh, thanks.
I
Thanks.
I try to be an adult child myself. So
Yeah, it's not
uh,
easy, is it? Back to 2024 business, the Rockmaker album, and some special guests on there. Slash is on this record. Debbie Harry's on the record. Frank Black is on the record. Is this a matter of you getting out the phone? Are they on speed dial?
yeah, like James Mercer from the Shins and Broken Bells is on there, and that was just kind of came at the end of a long day of drinking. We had a we had a marijuana and champagne bender, and that ended up in the studio just for something to do that's fun when you're drunk, you know.
Uh,
Uh, so
that's
he
that's when
did.
the pee break comes in handy.
Mm, oh yeah, and then I think the next one to come up was Slash, and that was just simply a conversation of that we know what we want on this song, and neither Peter nor I nor Fathead have the skills to do it. Uh, and who's the best at that? And my friend John, who's a really great guitar player, he said, you know who the last great guitar player of that kind of classic style purist is Slash. And I said, oh, great. So we just, had our manager get a hold of his manager and sent him the track. And he got right back to us and said, yeah, dude, this is awesome. I want to play on this. So we just said, yeah, do the wah wah, thing. And then he ended up not playing blues riffs on it. I thought it would come back very Jimi Hendrix, and it didn't. It came back very Middle Eastern and really, really so cool. I mean, it was next level that, it really took it to a level that we didn't even know was in there. So that was super impressive. Debbie I sang that part, and then, I was having a hard time with it. And my manager then said, well, if you could have anyone sing that, who would it be? And I said, well, Debbie Harry, but well, might as well try. And that did come back as well. Um, Now the only person I have on speed dial is Charles Thompson, Frank Black, and I was arranging a dinner in New York City, and it was during a time when a friend of mine is a Norwegian rocker and a painter, Iggy Pop and Black Francis and some other rock painters were supposed to be having a showing in New York. And so I called up Charles and asked him what he was doing. And is this real? Are you going to be there? So I'm trying to work this kind of New York luminaries dinner thing to happen to celebrate the Debbie Harry single. And he said he was in Zurich, and he also said he was waiting for his four teenage sons to show up, and he had a tour bus just for the five of them. And I said, wow, well, ask if they're into H.R. Giger, because I know the guy who runs that whole estate and the museum and his personal mansion and all the cool stuff. So that came back. He came back to me and he goes, well, that went over like gangbusters. Yeah. How do you want to do this? So I hooked him up with my buddy, and they got the tours and really had a great time. And then, so Frank, Charles said, so that's the problem. He got a lot of names, he's got too many names, but, he said, Courtney, that's, that was an amazing day. Thank you so much. You're a well connected man. If there's anything I can ever do for you, And we had a song that was called the Danzig Riff, and it had kind of, as we everyone layered more stuff on it, it became more Pixies, like a Pixies, sludgy Pixies Frank Black song. And so I knew I wanted him on that, and you know, so I said, funny you should ask. And yeah, and he said his 14-year-old son was his recording engineer. So uh, perfect, you know, great, do this. So I sent him the song. I had Pete send him the tracks, and when it came back, it was "Love Thyself" off the record. And I said, that wasn't the song. Oh no, did you get the other one too? And he goes, no. I was like, oh man, fuck. And he goes, that's okay. Still want me to play on it? And I'm like, yes. And he said, just send it over. I'll play on that one too. So we have him on two tracks. His part wasn't like where everything, in Danzig, everything breaks away and it's just that
Mm.
Frank Black riff. Uh, and the other one, it's just rhythm guitar and a couple of real cool parts. But we decided that the Danzig wanted to have him as the featured artist in the title, and the other one we'd spend the rest of our lives trying to point out to people, no, 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 not that one. No, okay, listen, here it comes again. Oh, and we'd have to play that game and fuck that. So the Danzig thing, and it was a great single, and it was a perfect lead single on the road to the 3 months prior to or 2 months prior to the record release. It really was the perfect opening volley.
Yeah, well, Danzig with myself and I Will Never Stop Loving You. And I'd like to really feature in your problem have all been played live. How do you get around not having those people on the stage when you do the songs live?
You just play the song. Everybody does what they do. I mean, Zia does not sing like Debbie Harry. She sings like a crazy animal,
Hmm.
and it's a different vibe. It's wild. Um, Pete doesn't play. It did open his you know Pandora's box of guitar styles and riffs, and he's been working on Middle Eastern scales now. So he can't, obviously he doesn't play like Slash. Nobody really can anymore. But his is noisier and trippier and more in feedback and crazy delays involved. Uh, and it's a different thing, you know.
Hmm.
It's not that purist Vietnam vet era, rock thing. It's very modern.
Yeah.
Pete's is, modern and trippy. And then he does the Frank Black guitar as well on that song. He has a harder time playing his own part on the Frank on the Danzig with myself. Uh, so yeah, but they're all songs. I mean, you approach them differently. If we're going to play at a coffee shop, in Stockholm or something, and you got to break it down to three acoustic guitars and a acoustic bass or something. Songs are just songs. You just play them. You play them however you play them. And if somebody covers it, they can cover it exactly, or they can reinterpret it. I mean, Debbie Harry singing my part came back, and it was a lot different. It felt like her part. And I don't even remember how I sang it, but the way she slides the notes around and hangs on this a little longer than I would, it's it's really cool having other people play on your records, if they're that good. And obviously those three are three of the greatest musical artists in the history of American, rock music.
Yeah, absolutely. Summer of Hate's another one that you've played live. How many songs off Rockmaker do you plan on incorporating into the set as you go through 2024?
We don't really plan, they just happen, and then we have to adapt. So four, that those four. And if some song should bust out culturally and become, a cultural reference point, then we'll have to learn that one, how to adapt that one to live, and probably have to learn how to adapt it to acoustic as well. Both
Yep.
both the Debbie Harry song and the song with Slash, both of those adapt to acoustic seamlessly. They're fantastic. So yeah, we'll see what's next.
You had a lot of fun during COVID. Taffel music, it means more when you're alone, 2020. The
Mm.
longest album you've ever done. No, probably one of the longest albums anyone has ever done.
Yeah, it's
Was it torture or
not
fun?
common. Oh, it was rad. Yeah, it was super fun. We had nothing but time, and that one we kind of got together. Those were a lot of ideas that have been collected over the years, and it was really time to finish it and make it happen. And so that's what we did. And also you can find each of those tracks goes is a part of a continuum that is a almost 4 hour dinner party. And each of those is a course. And I have a recipe and a wine pairing and a film for each course.
Oh, wow.
They're on there. We did that all during COVID and released them every Tuesday. It was TOEFL Tuesday. And so for 9 weeks in a row, a TOEFL music track was released with a film accompanying it, a recipe for whatever dish that course is, and the wine pairing for that dish. Yeah, it was a lot. And at Metal Monday, I was posting up a metal tune from my life every Monday and kind of explaining what it meant to me and where I was my head when it came out. And yeah, we had Fast Friday was a 30-second long song and a video new every week. I had to write a 30-second long song, record it, and make a video for it. And those came out. So we did a lot of work, and we were working on obviously making Rockmaker during that time as well.
Wow. That's a work of art. I mean, you live up to the Andy Warhol name when you go and create something like that.
Yeah, it was a factory for sure. COVID,
Yeah.
COVID was COVID was pr- fairly loose in Portland. You could wander around. You could walk the streets. So I walked to work every day, like a job. Monday through Friday. I just went down. I went to work,
Hmm.
and I worked all day, and I came home for dinner.
Hmm.
And it was really special to go to work 5 days a week. I don't think I've ever done that in my life.
Yeah. This album, Welcome to the Monkey House, was a huge record in Australia, not so much in America. Do you adjust the set list for the different countries you go to, such as Australia, keeping in mind the enormity of this record here versus America?
Well, maybe by one song. Like we'll play the last "You Are the Last High" because it was a hit in Australia. It was a hit in several countries. Uh, Norway. We got to remember to play it in Norway. It was a top 10 single in Norway, in Greece, in Italy, and there's certain countries that you just go, this was a huge hit here. Let's do it. And yeah, but on the other hand, we are a major cult band, so everybody kind of knows everything.
Mm.
And just changing the set list at all is pretty exciting.
Well, this was a number 5 album in Australia, and it was released, and then it was re-released, and then it was in a box, and then there was a DVD added to it. You were quite the pop stars that year.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to seeing the band back down here. Last time wasn't that long ago for me, September 2022 with the Hoodoo Gurus, and I
Hmm.
truly enjoyed that show at the Sydney Myer Music Bowl in Melbourne. We'll be seeing you
Hmm.
at the Northcote Theatre actually when you're down
Okay.
this time. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think
On the
don't
other
we
side
have,
of West and Kilda was when you did your very first show in
and then
1990.
we have another show there as well at the Forum, I believe.
Yep. That's
So we have
the
two.
inner city and the suburbs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you in a few weeks. Courtney, thanks for joining.
Fantastic. I
Always
can't
fun.
wait. Very excited. We're pretty stoked to get back down there.
And keep some thought about Winston and the bass player if ever Zia gets sick.
I'll go. I knew that guy with a dog. What's that? Yeah.
See you soon.
All right, man. See ya.